Easter Sunday, Easter Sunday's this
I want to have your attention, please, for just a second. I'm going to raise my voice, so hopefully you hear me. I got great news for you. I got really great news. Actually, it's so great that every year we celebrate what I'm about to share with you and what I read for you. We celebrate the good news that Jesus not only came into this world, but he actually bled and died for us on the cross. And I wanted to share the story with you. So, if I may, please have your attention. It says in Matthew 26, and it came to pass when Jesus has finished all these sayings, he said to his disciples, "You know that after 2 days it is the feast of the Passover, and the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified." Then assembled together the chief priests and the scribes and the elders of the people to the palace of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas, and consulted that they might take Jesus by suitably and kill him. But they said, "Not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar among the people." Now when Jesus was in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, there came to him a woman having an alabaster box, very precious ointments, and poured it on his head, and sat as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had an indignation, saying, "To what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor." When Jesus understood it, he said to them, "Why trouble the woman? For she has brought a good work upon me. For you have the poor always with you, but me you have not always. For in that she has poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say to you, wherever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this, that this woman has done, be told for a memorial of her." And one of the 12 called Judas Iscariot, when he went to the chief priests, and he said to them, "What will you give me? And I will deliver him to you." And they covenanted with him for 30 pieces of silver. And from that time he thought opportunity to betray him. Now the first day of the feast of the unleavened bread, the disciples came to Jesus, saying to him, "Where will you that we prepare for you to eat the Passover?" And he said, "Go into the city to such a man and say to him, the master says, my time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at your house with my disciples." And the disciples did as Jesus had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. Now when the even was come, he sat down with the 12. And as they did eat, he said, "Verily I say to you, that one of you shall betray me." And they were exceedingly sorrowful, and began every one of them to say to him, "Lord, is it I?" And he answered and he said, "He that dips his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. The Son of Man goes as it is written before of him, but woe to the man who the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born." Then Judas, which betrayed him, answered and said, "Master, is it I?" He said to him, "You have said." And as they were eating, Jesus took the bread and blessed it and broke it and gave it to the disciples and said, "Take, eat, this is my body." And he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, "Drink all of it, for this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many of the remissions of sins. But I say to you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the wine until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom." And when they had sung a hymn, they went out into the Mount of Olives. Then said Jesus to them, "All you shall be offended because of this night. For it is written, I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock shall scatter abroad. But after I'm risen, I will go before you in Galilee. Peter answered and said to him, Thou all men shall be offended because of you, yet will I never be offended. Jesus said to him, Verily I say to you, that this night before the cock crow, you shall deny me thrice. And Peter said to him, Though I shall die with you, yet will not deny you. Likewise also said all the disciples. And then came Jesus with them to a place called Gethsemane, and said to the disciples, Sit here, while I go and pray yonder. And he took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, and began to sorrowful and very heavy. Then said he to them, My soul is exceedingly sorrowful, even to death. Tarry here, and watch with me. And he went a little further, and fell.
Hey, Jesus.
There you go.
Hey. You don't know.
Fell on his face and prayed, saying, Oh, my Father, if it be possible, let the cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as your will. And he came to the disciples and found them asleep, and said to Peter, What? Could you not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray that you enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. He went away again the second time and prayed, saying, Oh, my Father, this cup may not pass away from me, except I drink it. Your will be done. And he came and found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy. And he left them and went away again and prayed the third time, saying the same words. Then he came to his disciples and said to them, Sleep on now and take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed to the hands of sinners. Rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that does betray me. And while he yet spoke, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude with swords and staffs from the chief priests and elders of the people. Now he that betrayed him gave him a sign, saying, Whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he. Hold him fast. And forthwith he came to Jesus and said, Hail, Master, and kissed him. And Jesus said to him, Friend, wherefore are you come? Then came they and laid hands on Jesus and took him. And behold, one of them which were with Jesus stretched out his hand and drew his sword, and struck a servant of the high priest, and smote off his ear. Then Jesus said to him, Put up again your sword in this place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. Think that I cannot now pray to my Father, and shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels? But how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled, that thus it must be? In the same hour that Jesus to the multitudes, Are you to come as against the thief with swords and staffs to take me? I sat daily with you teaching in the temple, and you laid no hold of me. But all this was